Yo, what's up, Swag? You already know the time it is, man. It's your boy KLR, aka KL Swag. Back here with a video, man. Look, man, we're back here again with another microphone video, man. I'm not gonna lie, I haven't did microphone in a minute, so I don't know why I'm saying we're back here again. But for the OG subs, y'all know that I'll be reacting to microphone, bro, with this NFL content, man. So shout out to microphone, and let's get into it, man. Y'all know the title? Aaron Rodgers is out of excuses. Y'all know what we about to do. We about to talk about this, man. Let's get into it.
Quite simply, there are no more moves to be made in the New York Jets organization for this season. They are who they are. They have shown us who they are through 8 games. They have no margin of error for the rest of the season. Zero margin of error. I don't see this being the players on their team in the future.
Even Aaron Rodgers?
I don't know. They have tried pretty much everything.
The New York Jets are an unmitigated disaster in the midst of one of the biggest losing streaks of Aaron Rodgers' career. They thought that firing Robert Saleh would fix them, but alas, it didn't. They thought
Fire him for no reason, too. Crazy.
trading for Devontae Adams would help, but they're winless with Devontae Adams. And now they've lost to one of the worst teams in the NFL. So before...
Wait, what, nigga? All right, now, we is not the worst team in the NFL. Now, chill out. We is not the worst team in the NFL. First of all, I'm going to tell you this now. We're better than the Carolina Panthers. We beat the damn Cincinnati Bengals. We're better than the Cincinnati Bengals. And then on top of that, we're better than the Browns. Like, what? We is not the worst team in the NFL. It would be Carolina. And the only reason why people gonna say this, bro, we got players that got hurt, bro. If Drake May had the weapons just like the Jets, bro, we'll go crazy. And I'm talking about receivers. I don't care. Our defense is better than the Jets. Bro, you gotta think about this, you guys. Our defense was doing our thing. Bro, we got Christian Gonzalez, Jonathan Jones. Our safeties is really good. Jubril Peppers, Kyle Duggar, two good safeties that make plays. Better than the freaking Bills safeties. Bro, we so underrated, bro. But it's like right now, players are getting hurt and stuff like that. But we is not the worst team in the NFL. Take that back.
we get to the content, we are on the grind to 1 billion subscribers. So just check to see if you're subscribed and turn on our notifications to help us reach that insane milestone. And now that we get all that out of the way, work!
I ain't gonna lie, I always like the intro.
We dominated opening night on Prize Picks, hitting on the Anthony Edwards free square and making an easy $75, and then making another $150 on my Hauser LeBron James picks. Did a lot of NFL success as well. All in all, making about $400 over the past week. Now, if you haven't signed up for Prize Picks, make sure you use my promo code. What's going on, everybody? As a Dallas Cowboys fan, I'm very familiar with the feeling of disappointment and pain. I mean, how many times have I shown you this meme of the Dallas Cowboys cycle? Only this year, we don't have optimism to start out our season. So maybe that means that this year is our year? But jokes aside, there's no team in the NFL that's had more expectations coming into this season than the New York Jets. And throughout the offseason, I was singing this team's praises. I mean, going into the 2023 season, there was plenty of optimism after trading for Aaron Rodgers and having their best quarterback on paper since the Chad Pennington era, unless if you consider Mark Sanchez to be a solid quarterback. This team was able to finally get a quarterback to make any throw that they would possibly ever need. The strategy was simple. You have Robert Saleh that has a proven track record of crafting masterful defenses, and you have defensive stars on the New York Jets in the form of Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, who's the best defensive tackle in the NFL. And for the most part, the plan was very simple. Robert Saleh was supposed to create one of the greatest defenses in the NFL, while Aaron Rodgers tries to do what Tom Brady did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And that's literally what I said, bro. People are giving him so much respect because of what he did, in all his years. Don't get me wrong. He did his thing. But at the end of the day, bro, you can't do what Tom Brady do. You're not better than Tom Brady. You're not going to be Tom Brady. But did you try to do something that he did? Yes. And then, on top of that, They was losing, but they still found a way to come back. You can't do that. Not with your defense letting up rushing yards and receiving yards and all types of shit. Drake May literally embarrassed the Jets. Before he got hurt, before one of the linebackers hurt, Drake May was embarrassing the whole Jets defense. And it's crazy because I was shocked. I didn't think that Drake May was going to do that. I knew he was going to run and stuff, but I didn't think that Drake May was going to play that good, bro. That's just keeping it real.
And the craziest part is the New York Jets didn't need to have the greatest offense in the NFL. For the most part, Aaron Rodgers just needed to be a game manager. Unfortunately, in year one, we never really got to see the potential of this combination because Aaron Rodgers would tear his Achilles just 4 games into the season. And once again, the New York Jets would have one of the best defenses in the NFL, ranking 12th in the NFL in points against, but finishing 3rd in the NFL in total defense. But unfortunately, when you have Zach Wilson under center offensively, clearly your team is going to be limited significantly. And alas, the New York Jets...
Hey, check this out. So I stopped buying random lotto tickets and started doing this instead.
were never able to harness their fullest potential, but fortunately, Aaron Rodgers was set to make a full recovery and return in the 2024 season. And this time, the Jets placed a further emphasis on making sure Aaron Rodgers and the entire team had everything they needed. They addressed each and every single one of their problems in the offseason. For instance, Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles within 4 snaps of his New York Jets debut. So the Jets really placed an emphasis on building a solid offensive line for him, trading for Morgan Moses, who was on a remarkable contract from the Baltimore Ravens, being a little aggressive in signing John Simpson to a 2-year, $18 million contract, signing longtime Cowboys offensive anchor Tyron Smith to a 1-year, $20 million contract, and also drafting Ali Fashanu, who was a solid developmental left tackle out of Penn State. But in the event that Aaron Rodgers was to get injured, they made sure that they had a more dependable backup option, agreeing to a 2-year contract with Tyrod Taylor, and they bolstered their wide receiver core. Things looked a little thin behind Garrett Wilson, and Allen Lazard clearly lacked chemistry with Zach Wilson, so they went out and signed Mike Williams to a 1-year deal worth $15 million. I honestly thought...
And he's a starting wide receiver. This nigga is a backup. Mike Williams on the Jets is a backup. He do not start. It's Allen Lazard. It's Devontae Adams. It's Garrett Wilson. Bro. And then I think somebody else is slot or whatever. But yeah, bro, I ain't gonna lie, it's embarrassing.
Thought that the New York Jets had one of the best off seasons in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers had everything he would possibly need to have a successful season this year. So the New York Jets would get off to a very weird start, losing to the San Francisco 49ers 32-19 before defeating the lowly Tennessee Titans 24-17. They would make quick work of the New England Patriots 1 month ago, 24-3, and little do we know that would be the last time the New York Jets would win, at least so far this season, because things would go terribly from here on out. You see, Aaron Rodgers had absolutely no answer for Brian Flores' suffocating defense when the Jets took on the Minnesota Vikings. In this game, Aaron Rodgers went 29 of 54 through 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. And following this loss to the Minnesota Vikings, for some reason the New York Jets decided to fire Robert Saleh. This was despite the New York Jets having one of the best defenses in the entire NFL. And by the way,
all right, not the best. Patriots is.
To this day, the New York Jets still have one of the better defenses in the NFL. They're currently in 6th place in NFL team defense rankings through week 7. But for some reason, Robert Saleh was the fall guy throughout all of this. Fans would point out to the win-loss record that Robert Saleh had throughout his tenure with the New York Jets. But the issue the entire time wasn't the defense. It was because this guy had to build his team around Zach Wilson, for crying out loud. So once Robert Saleh was scapegoated, the New York Jets were hoping that that maybe that would turn around their fortunes. Maybe elevating their defensive coordinator to the head coaching position in the meantime would fix everything. But alas, it would literally fix nothing. The Jets would perform a little bit better against the Buffalo Bills, and despite Breece Hall having over 100 yards rushing on 18 carries, and Aaron Rodgers having nearly 300 yards passing, the New York Jets would lose to the Buffalo Bills 23-20. So the Jets decided that their next problem was their wide receiver core. And I'll say this over and over again, to this day, I think this trade doesn't hurt the New York Jets, but it wasn't necessarily a problem that the New York Jets really had. I felt like the issue that the Jets had clearly had to do with their team chemistry. They didn't need more wide receivers, with all due respect, but I can understand why they traded for Davante Adams. It didn't take that much to get Davante Adams, and he does fit under their salary cap. Are there more pressing needs for the New York Jets? Yeah, most definitely. And is tinkering with the team's offense doing more harm than good? Probably. But Jets fans were hoping that the reunion of Davante Adams and Aaron Rodgers would be everything the Jets needed to improve.
That's what they thought. They thought Rodgers and Adams, like, bro, that's the reason why he came, bro. He thought it was going to be on some, like, Green Bay type shit. But no, that's not going to happen.
This year, Davante Adams, who literally made his team debut against the Pittsburgh Steelers, had this to say about his new teammates.
A lot of these guys in here haven't been anywhere else where they've won and, have had that urgency that it takes in order to be a good team. So, this team being so talented on the, roster-wise, it's just a waste to have everybody out there and, to have a dead sideline like that. Breece catch a ball and go 60 and we can't feed off none of the energy, and those type of plays are supposed to be contagious for the rest of the team. So
I honestly think ripping your new teammates within a game of playing with them is insane, because the Jets would get dominated.
That is crazy, though. That is crazy. That is crazy, though. And that's the defense too, because the defense is not on the field. Offense is. And when he's sitting down, he on the sideline or whatever, because you got to remember he's still on the playbook and stuff like that. Y'all niggas, that shit crazy, bro.
By the Pittsburgh Steelers 37-15. They made Russell Wilson look like Seattle Seahawks Russ again. And once again, in this game, the offense looked terrible. Aaron Rodgers threw a touchdown to 2 interceptions. And the craziest part about this is there's never any accountability from Aaron Rodgers' behalf. For instance, when the New York Jets lost to the Buffalo Bills, Aaron Rodgers didn't stand up there and say, I gotta be better. He called out his wide receiver that he's trying to establish chemistry with.
2 verticals, Allen's down the seam, Mike's down the red line. So I'm looking at Allen, he puts his hand up, 3 guys go with him, so I'm throwing a no look to the red line. And when I just peek my eyes back there, he's running an inbreaker. So it's got to be down the red line.
This is what your dishwasher looks like after 1 year. It's a colony of billions of mold and bacteria.
And then the Jets traded for his old buddy Davante Adams, which again, great addition, fairly unnecessary in my opinion. So a lot was on the line for the New York Jets versus the New England Patriots, and they did everything they possibly could to make sure that they were at full strength. They finally reached an agreement with Hassan Reddick, who was holding out all...
And you got Hassan Reddick, bro. Dude played in the Super Bowl, but dude played for the Eagles. Going crazy.
Season long to make one of the best defenses in the NFL even better. They're going up against a rookie that's making his 3rd official start of the NFL season. The New England Patriots have no hope for being contenders this year. They have a depleted wide receiver core, one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL.
We do. Our offense is terrible. We do have one of the worst offenses most likely in the NFL. I say receivers is really, really bad. We don't have no receivers, and that's all because of Robert Kraft old ass.
Up-and-coming defense, but on top of that, the team chemistry is very off. I mean, all week long, you were hearing narratives about how bad the Patriots were doing. Gerard Mayo had this to say about his team after their loss last week.
Disappointing game. We came out, we started fast, but I would say we're a soft football team across the board.
Bill Belichick started roasting Gerard Mayo for this.
When you criticize your team publicly like that, it doesn't always go over well. Ultimately, I always felt like when the team played bad, that was my responsibility too.
And while I do agree with Belichick about this, he would just keep going at his old assistant.
I'm kind of hurt for those guys because they call them soft. They're not soft. They were the best team in the league last year against the run.
Some fans were even speculating that Gerard Mayo could get fired at a specific point if the Patriots continue to lose games. And to be honest, it looked like the Patriots were going to lose this game. I mean, how could you win? You're going up against Aaron Rodgers, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Devontae Adams, Sauce Gardner, Quinn Williams. Like, how on earth do you win? Well, Patriots would win. It's actually kind of insane. The way this game would go down is so bizarre. And nothing explains it better than this meme. I mean, the Patriots have no expectations, and the Jets have never had higher expectations, and they both have the same record. In this game, anything that could have gone wrong went wrong. I mean, Christian Gonzalez completely locked down Devontae Adams. But even that isn't an excuse because you still have Garrett Wilson. Devontae Adams was targeted 4 times with Christian Gonzalez on him, and he had 0 catches and 0 yards. When Christian Gonzalez was asked about it, this is what he had to say.
We won, man. We won. We won.
So far in his 2 games on the New York Jets, Devontae Adams has 15 targets, 7 receptions, 84 receiving yards, and 0 victories. He has only 3 receptions per game, a 43% catch rate, and is averaging 34 yards per game. And when you take a look at the New York Jets schedule, it's not necessarily the most brutal schedule, but it doesn't look like they have a lot of easy wins coming up. They face off against the Houston Texans on Thursday Night Football in 4 days, then face off against the Arizona Cardinals, then the Indianapolis Colts, who could be a formidable foe if they start Joe Flacco, before facing off against the Seahawks and Dolphins. At the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers has no more excuses. This is a guy that got each and everything that he could have possibly wanted, despite him saying that he doesn't have much control over the team's decisions. Following the game, this is what he had to say.
Yeah, I've been in the darkness. You gotta go in there, make peace with it.
He claims that he doesn't have as much power as people think.
It's interesting the amount of power that people think that I have, which I don't.
But at the end of the day, he got the offensive coordinator he wanted. When that offensive coordinator wasn't working out, they elevated another guy that he's comfortable with, Todd Downing, into play calling duties. They still lost. He had one of the best wide receiver cores in the NFL on paper, but when it wasn't good enough for him, they traded for Devontae Adams, and now he literally has the best.
It's disrespectful to Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazar because it's like, damn, I'm not good enough. Garrett Wilson, I'm not good enough. It's like, I'm not good enough. Like, I'm supposed to be your number 1 guy, and I'm not good enough.
Wide receiver core in the NFL on paper, that's also supplemented with a top 5 running back in the NFL. He has a top 6 defense in the NFL, and he's not necessarily in that competitive of a division. So far, it's just the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins are typically good when they have 2 under center, but they haven't been at full strength all season long.
They ain't gonna be good when the Bills meet his ass again.
At this point, Aaron Rodgers can't really point the blame finger at anyone but himself, but he won't. He'll continue to point the blame finger at anyone else around him, despite the New York Jets doing everything that he's asked. Aaron Rodgers was supposed to go to the New York Jets and was supposed to have a similar send-off to his career as Peyton Manning did with the Denver Broncos and as Tom Brady did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But alas, this is looking a little bit more like Joe Montana on the Kansas City Chiefs and Donovan McNabb with the Washington Commanders or Minnesota Vikings. If you're a New York Jets fan, let me know what the solution to fixing this team is. At this point, if you continue to lose games, there's a chance that you could draft Quinn Ewers or Shedeur Sanders in the upcoming NFL draft, or even Cameron Ward. And to be honest, why wouldn't you? Draft one of your quarterbacks of the future with a top 5 pick, have him sit behind Rodgers for a season, and then throw him in there. Let me know what you guys think the New York Jets should do, or if you don't think it's Aaron Rodgers' fault. I like to hear what you have to say.
Hey, I like it. It's all Aaron Rodgers' fault. It's, it's the whole team, bro. But it start with that offense, bro. Start with that offense.